Hey guys, Dissection of Violence here. I'm gonna run through the UFC card. Most of my picks are done, plays are done, so I'm gonna get right into it. We got Esteban Ribovic versus Kamwela Kirk. Um, the boxing of Ribovic is gonna cause a lot of problems for Kirk. I think Ribovic is a better striker, more talented, but the grappling I think is definitely on Kirk's side. Ribovic didn't look terrible against Loic, but how Loic looked against I know it's a different fight altogether, but man, that Rebecca fight just can't get out of my head. But yeah, Ribovic, I have winning this fight. It's gonna be a good fight though. Could really go either way. Um, I think has a great team at Fight Ready, but I don't know. I like Esteban. He's got a lot of good things to offer in the division. Moving on, we got Jesus Aguilar versus Shannon Ross. Shannon Ross is not a good fighter, unfortunately, and Jesus Aguilar does not go away. He puts himself in terrible positions to get submitted, to get finished, so maybe Ross could take advantage of that, but Aguilar is terrible, and so is Shannon Ross, but I think Ross is a little bit more terrible. I'm going to go with Aguilar here. It's going to be a good one, though. Moving on, we had Terrence Mitchell versus Cameron Simon. Terrence Mitchell, he is a decent fighter. He trains out of um, Garage Crew. Not much to know about him. He hasn't had the greatest of record. Um, yeah, I gotta go with Cameron Simon here. I mean, he's fighting a vet, but he's just too talented. I think he's gonna put him away. I'm gonna go with Cameron by TKO. Moving on, we got Vitor Petrino versus Marcin Prachnio. I feel like if Petrino does not win on the feet in the first few rounds, I think Prachnio could find a way to steal the decision from him. So for that reason, I'm going to have a slight lean on Petrino. Like I said, I'm going to zoom through these picks, guys. I don't got a lot of time, so I'm going to zoom through these. We had Tatsira Taira taking on Edgar Shiraz. Shiraz is decent. He knows how to make it ugly on the feet and win rounds. But I think this is too much for him. Tatsira Taira, his grappling is going to be too much for Edgar. Yeah, it's going to be a fun fight for sure while it lasts. Moving on. Speaking of fun fights while it lasts, we have Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Manifold, the rematch. Crute has no fight IQ and or not no fight IQ. His striking is terrible. Striking defense is terrible. His fighting off, like his striking fight IQ is terrible. Alonzo Manifield can't really grapple, so that I guess it evens it out. But I'm gonna go with Alonzo Manifield just because he keeps getting up and he's got Pat Barry in his corner. So I think Manifield can find the KO here. But it is a weird fight. I'm gonna go with Manifield here, but it's not with confidence. Moving on, we have Yasmin Urague versus Denise Gomes. Denise Gomes is here to fight and brawl. She doesn't have a whole lot of technique, but she does have some, and for what she does have, it is effective. But I just don't think she wins this fight. I think Yasmin is just too good on the feet, too clean, too dangerous, too vicious. I see her winning a nice unanimous decision against Denise Gomez. Not much else needs to be said here. Yasmin's definitely the A side. Moving on, speaking of A side, we have Jack Della Maddalena taking on Josiah, undefeated Harrell. He's undefeated, but if you look at who he's beat, it's not very like good names, if any. He has I went over a 5-0 guy, so that's good, but I just don't think he's any good, and I think Jack Della Maddalena is going to expose him quick in that first round. Josiah Harrell is a lightweight fighting at welterweight, and I think it'll show in the fight. Moving on, we have Nico Price taking on Robbie Lawler. I like Lawler here. Um, at a dog value, especially. I just think Price is terrible, and yeah, I like Lawler a lot. I think he's a gamer and he knows how to scrap. So I think this for his last fight going to come out with a win, by decision. Moving on, we have Bo Nickel taking on Valentine Woodburn. I took a little bit of Woodburn by TKO just because Bo Nickel's striking is still very underdeveloped and his wrestling is his main attribute. So Woodburn can wrestle too, just not after the first round. I think Bo Nickel is going to win this fight, especially at the biggest odds ever in UFC history. But I wouldn't be I just couldn't put money on him at these odds. So I got to have a little sprinkle on Valentine Woodbum. But I mean Woodburn by KO. I think that's the only play here. And yeah, moving on. We have Jalen Turner taking on Dan Hooker. Probably one of my most confident predictions of the card. I on Jalen Turner here. I got to meet Dan Hooker, so that was pretty cool. But I just have to pick Jalen Turner. His reach, his length, the fight energy he brings. I don't know. I get a bad feeling out of Dan Hooker's side that I just don't think he's going to be ready for what Jalen Turner brings. And yeah, I think Turner's going to put him away, either by sub or KO. I'm hoping by sub. Moving on, we have Dricus du Plessis versus Robert the Reaper Whittaker. Robert the Whittaker wins this fight. If he loses this fight, I'm boycotting middleweight. End of story. I don't even want to go into why. Actually, let me get into why. Dricus is an ape. He is not good, and he has knockout power. His grappling is very, very mid, and I just don't think he is at the level as everyone thinks he is. He is not good, and I'm excited for Robert Whittaker to expose him. And if he loses, then I'm going to be utterly confused, and I will have nothing to do with middleweight other than when Izzy fights. So yeah, a lot of stakes. A lot of stakes are on this fight, so I'm really interested to see how it goes. Moving on, we have Brandon Moreno taking on Alexander Pantoja. Pantoja has already beat him. I think he has his number, but I gotta go with Brandon here. He's on a killer streak right now. He's on a run, great run, good coaching. I think this is his fight to lose, and I do think he wins this fight, but it is a close fight for sure. I will not count out Pantoja at all, especially with all the wins over Moreno. So. But yeah, moving on, we have Alexander Volkanovski taking on Yair Rodriguez. Volkanovski is a beast. He knows how to break you down and make you look bad where you're good. And I do think he's going to be able to do that here. I think Yair, other than a fluke, flashy KO, I don't think he has much of a chance here. I think Volk runs right through him. But yeah, guys, let me get you guys my most confident picks. Number one, Jack Della Maddalena. Number two, we got um, Jalen Turner. Number three, we got Robert Whittaker. Number four, Yasmin Uragua and Bo Nickel. And number five, we have Volkanovski and Simon. All right, guys, like, subscribe. You know the drill. And yeah, I'll catch you next time.